Welcome to Nordic Ruby here in sunny Gothenburg, Sweden. It's the happiest little conference in Europe.
We're doing agile development and we're promoting agile advertising with open classes and message passing, and everything is just so effing dynamic all the time. Why can't they make a DSL in Ruby that looks like Lisp?
To talk about this, we're going to use the highly criticized computer science.
Is this what happens when I die?
Please, when you're running your tests, when you're running your applications, run with MySW. That turns on warnings. I consider Rails to be legacy code. Do you like mocking and stubbing? Do you like hearts? Yes. And how about kittens? But I am probably the closest thing the Ruby community has to an official administrative assistant. One is that you should do a lot of research for your talk, because then you'll be prepared. The other is that you should dress in a suit. So the research that I did was actually all about my suit. Here's some examples of legacies from other fields. Beethoven. So Beethoven left behind a lasting body of work that we're listening to now.
Imagine your life resembles a car crash. How would you get out of that situation? 3.8 kilometre swim, a 108 kilometre bike, and then run a marathon back to back.
Something that we all hate, right? Boo, waterfall. Boo. The other idea around TomDoc is that you can read through the entire spec once and know how to write TomDoc forever. Screw automatic code generation output. And could you, at any point, open source any specific segment of your project?
The programming interface, the public programming interface to any code that you write, that's the product that ultimately you're creating for other developers. I don't know what kind of methamphetamines they were taking when they were writing this, but it's horrendous. Because sometimes the best API is no API at all.
18% of all AP computer science test takers were girls. That's the lowest female ratio of any AP test. It's about 1% of the open source contributions are coming from women. I don't think they mean that. I don't think that the intended message of their webpage is that white men make good Rails developers. We need more variety. We need to cultivate that sort of lucky experience of having lots of different things happen to us.
Well, that's about 1,500 tenths a month that the Germans are producing. And a bunch of mathematicians sat around and said, a month, that there's no way in hell. Statistically, that's impossible. It's like 8 sigma out. There's no way they could do this.
You are in the top 5 to 2% of most developers out there, just by being here. And so I think this group is perfect for going back and saying, let's change the way development's taught.
You go and you go like bundle install. So the idea, as crazy as it sounds, is using DNS as a dependency resolution mechanism for Ruby gems.
It contains this, and no pen. It contains this, and no toothpaste.
It does something really useful, and it's really Ruby. Anyone know what it does?
I'm an amateur at building scalable systems, but I've tried a few times and I've failed a few times. One really important thing is start with having 2 of everything. If you can scale horizontally, you can always throw money at the problem, and that's a good thing. Queues are brilliant, messaging systems in general, but queues were more fun because I could take a picture of that.
Hubot is our campfire robot. He'll generate using Node.js and Node Canvas
using the Google geolocation API and a third-party weather API, show you a 5-day graph of what the weather is going to be in any location you would like.
You know, move just a bit sideways like this, you know? Specifically if you're taking picture of your kids, get down on their level. Because, you know,
Who here lives in a country who does government IT well?
My talk was about testing and extending legacy code. The idea was that we should stop thinking of the word legacy as a bad word.
I guess just pushing yourself with to new limits.
Finding myself and trying to find out who I am in the context of all the things I've done and the people I've met.
I wanted people thinking about how we should really be thinking about API design and bringing it as part of the craft of what we do as software developers.
And I'm talking about the diversity problem in the Ruby community. Not just the gender diversity problem, but also racial, age, economic.
And I'm happy to be at Nordic Ruby talking about machine learning and Bayesian statistics.
Schools are bad at education when it comes to computer science. They're not preparing people the way they should be, but we need to stop complaining about it and do things ourselves.
Ruby is not really as moldable as it should be. You should be able to create something that is more like you desire it than in Ruby.